All right, folks, this will be my last video of my cruise on the brand new Norwegian Aqua. And this will be my thoughts and experiences on the cruise. It was a 5-day cruise out of Miami, and we hit 2 ports. The first port was, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Of course I am. The second port was Cozumel, so that was one. And what was the other one? Well, if I think of it, I'll mention it as I'm talking. So, but all right, the Norwegian Aqua started selling back in March, I believe, of this year, 2025. So, yeah, it's been a few weeks since I've been back home from my cruise earlier this month in October. So yeah, I've just been slowly putting videos together, posting a lot of shorts of my bonus rounds on the slot play, which I was chasing a maxed out major and a maxed out grand. I'll talk about what happened there. I'll talk about all the fun shows that I attended there. Yeah, it was overall it was an awesome cruise. Oh, I enjoyed it so much. I wish it was longer than 5 days, but it is what it is. So yeah, let's see. On the first day outside of embarkation, it wasn't as smooth as it usually is, and that was because that there was the port people, where you want to call that, was doing inspections on the ship, so that delayed us getting onto the ship. So, but that's not the fault of Norwegian. You know, the inspectors, or whatever you want to call them, had to come on board, and I don't know what they were looking for, but yeah, so that delayed it a little bit. So, but other than that, it was a smooth process. Just had to wait a little longer than usual to get on board. Of course, as soon as you get on board, you do the mustard station, and that was pretty easy to find. If you're not sure where your mustard station's at, there's always someone up front when you walk on the ship that will guide you to where you need to go for your mustard station. So, yeah. Then after that, I went and got lunch at Guy's Burger. Never miss a Guy's Burger. No, was it Guy's Burger? What was it? I'm thinking of Carnival. Sorry. I just go on so many cruises nowadays between Carnival and Norwegian. They're my two cruises. I do want to try Royal at some point. I want to try their big ships at some point. So, but yeah, let's see. The entertainment, the shows that I attended. One was a show on Prince. That was the singers. The singers were great. Sometimes, especially on your smaller ships, you get singers that are, voice wise are okay, but on the Agua, all of your singers in your shows have a great voice, and they were good. So that the Prince one, where it's like Prince and the revolution of Prince, or whatever it was called. It was great. I love hearing the Prince songs, and it was fun because on the main floor of the Aqua Theater, they move all the stadium seating back against the wall, and so you have the whole bottom main floor open to the stage, and then they have like two big platforms that they have connected to the stage, but then they move around some pieces of it during the show. It was it was great. I really enjoyed Prince. I always liked Prince anyway when I was younger growing up. He was a great entertainer. And then you also had Fleetwood Mac. So it was a tribute type of thing to Fleetwood Mac. And I love that one because they took the album back from the 70s, and they did each song off of that album. And there was 4 singers for this one, like they were, two couples, and that's what they were here. And before each song, they explain a little bit about that song. How that album was pretty much going over each one's interpretation of, because they broke up. One couple got divorced, and the one that weren't married split, but they decided to stay together as a band. And so this this album talked about how, like, the breakup, how they're feeling, or new love, and whatnot. So I found that very entertaining to learn some facts about Fleetwood Mac and about each person. So yeah, that was a great show. And then of course at the end of the cruise, you had the show uh, Elements. So if you've never been on a cruise, a Norwegian cruise, and saw the Elements show, that's always a good show. I've seen it before, but it's always a good show where you got dancers and you got like a magician and acrobats, high wire acrobats, whatever you want to call them. So and they have each of the seasons, or not each of the elements. They get fire, water, wind, and is it sun? I don't remember. No, earth. So earth, water, fire, wind. And it's always a great show to see. So I really enjoy those. And then as for game shows, of course, you have Wheel of Fortune. And even though my name wasn't called to go up to play the Wheel of Fortune, no, and the audience, us members or audience can play along with the show, just getting the app. And so you can, you have to pay a little bit, or no, you don't have to pay for that one. I don't remember, but you get to solve the puzzles as it goes along. And if you're the fastest solver, you get a little prize. And I love Wheel of Fortune. I'm good at it, and I didn't get called up, but I won the prize for the fastest solve in the show. So I got a little Wheel of Fortune keychain. So Wheel of Fortune Live is what they call it, and it was great. Yeah, I loved it. It was a cheap little 50-cent type of keychain, but it has a big circular round thing that has a picture of the wheel on it. So yeah, that was neat. And overall, I got the fastest. There was four rounds, and I got 4 or 5 rounds. Anyway, I got the fastest solve of all the rounds. Now, each round you get a prize. For the fastest solve overall, you don't get anything, but I was the fastest solve for the second round. And then they show at the end, who was the fastest overall. You add in all the puzzles together, and I was the fastest for all the puzzles put together. So I'm good at that show. I need to go on Wheel of Fortune for real one of these days. And then another game show was The Price is Right Live. Yeah, that was fun. My name was actually called to go up there, so I got to come on down to be the next contestant on The Price is Right. Ooh. And then I won because they called 4 people to come down, but you only get one chance. So first round, 4 people came down, 1 person won, got to go up there and play a game. Then the next round, they called 4 more people, which is the one I was called for, and I won to go on top of the stage. So, and then I got to play a game. I was really hoping for Blinko. I love Blinko, and that was easy to, but unfortunately, I got the worst game possible for me. I got the Beat the Clock, where you have a big old clock, and you have 4 prizes, and you get 4 prices, and you have to put the price that matches the prize. Run back to the clock and pull the lever to see how many you got right. You have 45 seconds. Well, I don't run fast. I actually have an autoimmune disease, generalized myasthenia gravis, which is a muscle weakness disease. So that was not a good game for me. But no, I played along. I didn't complain or anything. I lived it up. And I was hooting the holler. I didn't say when my name got called to go down to the contestants roll. I was hooping and hollering, and when I wanted to get up on stage, I was hooping and hollering. It was so much fun. But anyway, so I did not win my prize. The prize I would have won if I would have won my game of Beat the Clock, I would have got 2 nice. There were like 2 drills, like DeWalt drills type of thing. So yeah, it was a little disappointing. So I got a consolation prize, which is just a bag of cheap goodies. No, it was still, they're trinkets that I can have in memory of my cruise. So, and they don't run it the same way as the real Price is Right runs it. They do they do 3 rounds. So 3 people get to win and come up on stage, and everybody else gets consolation prizes. But when it came down to the wheel, they called 3 new people from the audience to do the wheel, and then they didn't do a second round of all that. They did 3 initial rounds in the wheel, like in the real game, but then instead of doing another 3 rounds and a wheel, instead they went straight to the showcase showdown. And they called 2 new people for the showcase showdown. So in all, you got 4, 8, 12, 17, 18, 19. So 19 people from the audience got pulled to participate. No, not 19. 17. So you got 4, 8, 12, and then 3 is 15, and then 2 is 17. So, and on the showcase showdown, there's only 1 group of prizes to bid on. So they didn't have 2 showcase showdowns, just 1. And he had some prizes there, and then they also had a nice car. Of course, the car's not on the ship. They just had a picture on the screen of the car. And in order to win the car, you have to be within $100 of the total price of the showcase. And if you don't get within $100, but you win the showcase, then you win just one of the prizes, not all of them. So, but it was a fun time. I enjoyed it. So. Yeah, and then of course you got your regular bingo and your the suitcase game. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So yeah, that was it Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or was it something else? Yeah, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I think. I don't remember, folks. Sorry, folks. But anyway, you get the gist. It was fun. And there's a lot of bars. I don't drink, so I really didn't do the bars. So, but there was plenty of options there. They have live entertainment everywhere. Or if you want to relax, I had no issues getting a lounger outside on the decks. So, yeah, it was the ship is a decent size. And it was fun. You got the Aqua coaster. Well, I think they call it Aqua water coaster or slide coaster. Aqua slide coaster. Oh, that was so much fun. I posted a video of me on the slide coaster. So if you haven't seen it yet, come to my channel and you'll find it. It's my one I posted like last week or something like that. Oh, that was fun. I rode it 3 times. It was fun. And then you had the drop slide, the dry slide. That was, on top and it goes all the way down. But there's a section in the middle where it's clear glass. And people were getting stuck on it. I got stuck on it. But thankfully, I got stuck right near the end of that plastic section. And so when that happened, I just tried to scoot myself a little bit down to get into the dark section again. Once I did that, I started to slide again. But I was talking to these 2 guys who had the balcony room in front of that clear glass portion, and they said, well, if you do that, this kind of wave as you go down, and of course I got stuck, and I kind of looked over and they weren't on the balcony. So but that was fun. Even with being stuck, it was fun. Just standing in this tube waiting for the floor to drop down, and so you go woo, and you do go fast at first, like woo. They would not let me record that. I couldn't get away of recording that because the guy is right there. Where on the slide coaster, once you're seated, then the thing pushes you up right before you start the incline, where that machine connects to you and zooms you up. So I was able to get my camera on there and record my phone camera on there to record it. So, but yeah, food. You have the buffet. It was decent. It wasn't anything great, but food in the buffet was okay. It tied me over. I did eat specialty restaurants because I had 3 comps because I gambled in the casino. And so I did the steakhouse, which is always good. You can't go wrong with the steakhouse. And then I also did the Italian one. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, it was the Italian restaurant. It was decent. No, I'm not a big fan, but it was good. And I didn't have to pay for it. So, and then the third was Los Lobos, the Mexican food restaurant, and it was okay. I didn't realize that they drizzled a small drizzle of sour cream on it, so I didn't. No, I don't like sour cream. I know I like Mexican food, but I don't like sour cream. But overall, it was good. They give you a big basket of chips with salsa, and that was really, really good. And then you get an appetizer, which I did. It was like a cheesy mixed in with I don't remember. And then of course I got the chicken burrito, and they drizzled it on there like an enchilada. So I didn't expect the burrito to have a drizzle over it at all. No, burritos get drizzled with the sauce and cheese and whatnot, but I did the burrito, so I was kind of it was okay. I was pretty full by then anyway, eating all the chips and the appetizer, and then they also had dessert, and I did it's like combination. It was like a combination of strawberry ice cream type of thing, mixed in with then like a apple, something like that. So, but it was good. It was good. The dessert was really, really good. The appetizers were really, really good, and the chips and salsa was really, really good. But no, the main dish was it was all right. So I wish I would have went with something else. I wish I would have went with an enchilada, since they put the sauce over anyway and drizzled it with sour cream. So I got to remember next time to make sure they don't put sour cream on it if I eat Los Lobos again. So, and then casino. From day one in the casino, there was a slot machine, a Dragon League slot machine section of them that were maxed out on both. Well, all the machines that were along that back row was maxed out because they shared the same grand. So it was $18,888 grand was maxed out. And then the one machine was maxed out on the major, which was $1,000 maxed out. So it was me and a couple other people that were chasing that all cruise long. And we don't know. It was there when the cruise started. So it was maxed out. We don't know how long it was maxed out. Come to find out, I don't think it was maxed out very long, because on the last day of the cruise, before we got back to Miami, I finally hit it. I hit the $1,000 major, and I was playing. Initially, I was playing $5 a spin, but then as I started to lose more and more, I backed it down to just 50 cents, a dollar, $1.50, sometimes $2.50 a spin, because I was just losing too much. So I won it I was on a penny denomination, betting the midpoint of $1.50 a spin, and it finally popped up. I got the major for $1,000. Woohoo! And then after that, I decided to play a little bit more, and I upped it to. I was on the 10-cent denom at $2.50 a spin, which is the minimum for 10-cent denom, and I hit. I hit two nice ones again. I got the free spins, which finally paid off. It gave me like $600. And then I hit the orb fireball bonus, and it gave me another like $500. So and of course I didn't hit enough for taxable, because when I hit that $1,000 major, I was on such a small amount, $1.50, that all the rest of the orbs added together, it was like $1,072 total. So I didn't have to worry about taxes on it. And then of course these other two ones, they were under the taxable amount. So I had the machine up to almost $2,200, and I ended up taking it down to, I cashed out at $2,002. So that paid for my losses and paid for my cruise. So yay! So I should say it didn't cover everything on the cruise. It didn't cover my excursions. So, but I got $50 off on each excursion. So, but yeah, so altogether, if you take into account my travel and all that, I still spend about $1,000 total. But at least I want enough to get my money back, get my losses back in the casino, and then I want enough to actually pay for the cruise itself, because I didn't. This one wasn't a free one. I got a discount rate, but I still had to pay for it, and then I of course I upgraded to an ocean view. So, but yeah, but that was my experience. Although they got a fun miniature golf. Can't forget about the miniature golf area. Oh, they're so neat. They're like the miniature golf were set up like international. You got something from all the countries. That was neat. Then, and they also have ping pong tables. They have bags or cornhole, however you know it by. They also have the bar game where I forget what it's called, where you slide these circular things to stop them in certain sections on the other end, kind of like shuffleboard, but on a table. So that was there, and one of the bars that looks over, kind of like the Haven or wherever you want to call it, the vibes section, which you have to be a vibes member or be in a certain room in order to enter. And they had somebody standing guard in front of the doors, so you could not go into the vibe section unless you're a member or whatever, however you do that, or book a certain type of room. So that was a little disappointing. I was able to get some pictures from up above of it, but I wasn't able to walk in there. So, but yeah, so I believe that's all I want to talk about. Oh, I should talk about my excursions here real quick. Let's see. In Cozumel, the second port day. Now, as you can see in my picture, that's a sea lion, and we got to interact with the sea lions. I got to take pictures with the sea lion. That was a great experience. And then once we were done in the sea lion area, which is kind of like in the back, not in the ocean, not in the sea. It was back where it had its own pool, enclosed pool and stuff. So we got to go into the pool, of course, wearing life jackets. And then once we were done there, then we went out to the actual water, the sea. We would have big cages in the water itself, way out there. And we got to interact with a manatee. There's 2 manatees out there, so we got to do the same thing as I said. We got to pet them, take pictures with them, and I have some great pictures. And I'll throw in these pictures right pretty much when I'm done talking. It was 22 minutes. Holy cow. So, but anyway, before I get to this little bit of the pictures, I just want to thank you for watching this video. And if you haven't watched all my videos from the cruise, go ahead to my channel, Cruise with Sean, and take a look at those videos if you like. I'm not a professional. I don't make money off of these things. I just do it for the fun. So my family and friends and anybody else who is interested in cruising and wanting to see what these cruise ships are like, the experiences and all that stuff, that's what I do this for. So I hope you enjoy this. If you would, hit the like button. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of future cruise videos when I post them, my next one is a Christmas cruise on Carnival. It's just a quick 4-day cruise on a Monday through Friday. Christmas is on that Thursday. So the last sea day before we get back to port on Friday is Christmas. So I'm looking forward to that one. Last year I did a Halloween cruise. So this year I'm doing a Christmas cruise. And I'm hoping next year I get to do a New Year's cruise. So that's my goal. So, all right. So if you want to be notified, go ahead and click that notification bell so you can be notified of my future videos. All right. Y'all take care, and I hope you enjoy these couple of pictures I have of my interactions with the sea lions and the manatees. Y'all take care. I love you all. Bye-bye.